Welcome to Stories for Sleep, a place where gentle stories are told to help your mind slow down and drift easily into rest. Tonight we will step together into a quiet journey with the theme, The Most Relaxing Facts About Wolves to Help You Sleep. In the deep space of the night forest, where the wind moves softly through the trees and the footprints of wolves rest upon the cold earth, there exists a world very different from the hurried rhythm of human life. Wolves are not only symbols of the wild, but also images of connection, patience, and the wisdom of survival. Through each small story about their lives, you may begin to feel a slow, gentle rhythm, as if being guided back to a very deep, instinctive part within yourself. If you are looking for a place to relax before sleep, to release your mind after a long day, you are in the right place. And if stories like these help you feel more at peace, you can subscribe to the Stories for Sleep channel so you don't miss these gentle journeys each night. Now, take a slow, deep breath, and we begin. In the modern world filled with noise, our minds rarely have the chance to truly rest. Thoughts continue one after another, the concerns of the day quietly lingering somewhere, making it difficult to let ourselves drift into deep sleep. Perhaps what we lack is not silence, but a feeling of returning to a slower rhythm, a deeper rhythm, one closer to the ancient instincts within us. And tonight we will step into such a gentle journey. Imagine you are walking slowly through a quiet forest at night. Snow rests softly on the ground. The wind moves gently, and somewhere in the distance, long wolf tracks stretch across the pale surface. There is no noise, no urgency, only a wild world breathing slowly, deeply, as if everything is moving in harmony with the rhythm of nature. According to Carl Jung, human beings do not live by reason alone. We also carry within us an ancient instinctive part one that remembers connection with nature, with the pack, with survival and belonging. The image of the wolf in many cultures has always represented that deep part loyalty, patience, and living in the true rhythm of life. In this video, we will not speak of wolves as frightening hunters. Instead, you will listen to the most soothing truths about their lives, how they communicate in silence, how they care for their families, how they survive together in the vastness of nature. And through each small story, you may begin to feel something very gentle. Peace does not come from controlling everything, but from rediscovering the natural rhythm within yourself. Let your mind relax, as if you are slowly following the tracks of a pack of wolves through the night. The deeper you go, the quieter everything becomes. And somewhere along that journey you may find a warm feeling, a soft stillness that gently carries you into sleep. Part 1. Introduction. Entering the quiet world of wolves. Imagine you are stepping slowly into a deep forest just as night falls. There are no hurried human sounds, no bright lights, only the wind moving softly through the branches, the cool air touching your skin, and somewhere on the soft ground, long tracks leading you farther into the silent world of wolves. You do not need to see them. Simply sensing their presence in the space is enough for the mind to begin to soften. The world of wolves is not noisy. It moves in a rhythm that is slow and deep, where every movement has meaning, every decision tied to survival. In that vast, natural world, wolves do not live by strength alone. They live through intelligence, cooperation, and the ability to adapt to the harshest conditions. And when we listen to stories about them in the quiet of night, we may realize that some part within us is also listening, also remembering that ancient rhythm. Carl Gustav Jung once said that human beings carry within them the ancient memories of nature, deep instincts that sometimes go unnoticed in modern life. The image of a wolf walking through deep forests, crossing mist-covered fields, moving through icy lands, is a powerful symbol of that instinctive part, but not of aggression, of patience, not of haste, of awareness, not of loneliness, of connection. As we begin this journey, we are not only exploring the life of an animal, we are entering a very quiet space where everything unfolds in the most natural way. Imagine a pack of wolves moving slowly through a snow-covered forest. Their steps are so soft they barely make a sound. They do not need to speak, yet they understand one another. They do not rush, yet they keep moving forward. In the world of wolves, survival does not come from constant struggle. It comes from listening, observing, and learning to adapt. When winter arrives, they find ways to keep warm. When prey changes, they change their strategy. When the environment grows harsher, they travel farther. Every action is a gentle response to the world around them. Not resistance, but harmony. This carries a deep meaning when we look into human inner life. There are times we feel tired from trying to control everything, from trying too hard, from holding everything in order. But in nature, wolves survive not because they control everything, but because they adapt, because they know how to wait, because they rely on one another. Jung believed that within every person there is a deep place where instinct and intuition still live. That part is not loud. It does not speak like everyday thoughts, but in stillness we can feel it. Like stepping into a forest and hearing only the wind, the leaves, and the rhythm of your own heartbeat. The image of wolf tracks crossing forests, ice, and fields is not just a scene of nature. It is a reminder that life is a long journey. Some paths are easy, some are cold. Some moments require us to walk through darkness without knowing what lies ahead. But step by step we keep moving forward. Wolves do not look too far ahead. They follow the trail. They follow what they feel. And in doing so, they survive winter, the harsh years, the wide lands. As you lie here listening to these stories, you can imagine yourself walking slowly through a quiet forest. There is nothing to rush, nothing you need to think about right now. Just gentle steps over soft ground, through cool air, through a space that is wide and deep. Your mind may begin to slow. The thoughts of today no longer follow one another as before. They begin to thin out like tracks fading beneath new snow. They do not disappear at once, but they grow more distant. In the world of wolves, everything has its time. A season for hunting, a season for rest, a season for raising young, a season for moving. Nothing happens too quickly. Nothing is forced. Everything unfolds in its natural rhythm. And perhaps as you listen to this story, your body begins to remember that natural rhythm. Your breathing grows slower, your shoulders soften, your heartbeat becomes steady. There is nothing to try, nothing to do. You do not need to imagine too much. Just feel a forest gently appearing in your mind. A wide space, a quiet night, and somewhere far away a pack of wolves moving across a mist-covered field. They are not rushing, they are not loud, they are simply living. And as you listen, you are being guided into a very quiet world, a place where everything slows down. A place where the mind does not need to be tense. A place where you can begin to relax. Because before we go deeper into the lives of wolves, before understanding how they communicate, how they hunt, how they raise their families, what matters most is to feel the stillness of their world. A very deep stillness. A stillness like standing in a night forest, hearing only the soft sound of wind. And in that stillness, the mind begins to soften. The body begins to grow heavier. Thoughts slowly drift away. As if you are stepping slowly along long tracks pressed into the cold ground. Each step lighter, each step deeper. And in that very slow journey, you are moving into a world not only of wolves, but of a deep part within yourself where there is stillness, patience, and a very primal sense of peace waiting. In that place, there is no pressure of time, nothing that needs to be completed, only slow, steady breathing, like the quiet rhythm of a pack of wolves moving silently through a mist-covered forest. You may imagine yourself standing at a distance, watching their tracks, not needing to follow, simply observing. That observation brings a very light feeling, because when we stop trying to control, stop trying to understand everything, the mind begins to rest. Jung believed that healing sometimes comes from returning to the most primal images, deep forest's night, the quiet movements of nature. These images awaken an ancient part of the soul, a part that knows how to listen and how to be at peace. And as you continue to listen, let yourself drift a little slower. Let the remaining thoughts of the long day move gently away. Let your body relax completely. This is only the first step of the journey, a soft doorway opening, leading you deeper into the silent world of wolves and deeper into the gentle stillness within yourself. Part 2. The language without words, communicating through the body. When night settles over the forest and every sound grows softer, the life of wolves begins to appear in a very quiet way. There are no loud conversations, no raised calls, yet the pack understands one another in a remarkable way. They communicate through very small things. A tilt of the head, a passing glance, a gentle movement of the tail, a step that slows. In their world, the body itself is language, and that language is subtle enough to keep the whole pack connected, safe and alive within the harshness of nature. If you imagine standing at a distance, watching a pack of wolves in the dim light of night, you might notice that there is almost no chaos, no constant angry growls, no fierce battles happening as often as we once imagined. Instead, there is a soft order. One wolf lowers its head slightly, another lowers its body to the ground. A tail gently tucks in, a gaze turns away, and just like that, a small tension is eased. In the world of wolves, these small gestures carry deep meaning. Standing tall can be a sign of confidence. A small step back can be a gesture of yielding. A brief touch of noses can be recognition. No words, no arguments. Just through their bodies they understand. Carl Jung once said that before human beings learned to speak, we already knew how to feel. Before language existed, we knew how to read the small signals of others. A look, a distance, the way someone stands or moves their hand, all carry messages. And at some deep level in the mind, that instinctive ability still remains. When we watch the way wolves communicate, something familiar can be felt, not through thought, but through intuition, a quiet understanding, a sense of safety when everything unfolds in order, a feeling that we do not need many words to be understood. In a harsh environment where cold, hunger, and danger are always present, avoiding conflict is important. Every fight could leave a wolf injured, and even a small wound could become a great risk when winter arrives. So instead of fighting, they learn to display, to yield, and to keep harmony. A young wolf may step too close. An older one simply stands a little taller. No growl, no bite, just a gentle signal. And the younger one understands, steps back. Order is kept, peace remains. That is the natural safety system of the pack. Not strength, but subtlety. Not force, but understanding. If we listen more deeply, we may realize that human life also holds these wordless languages. Moments when we feel someone's mood just from a glance. Times we know someone is tired simply from the way they sit in silence. Times when a gentle touch can bring comfort. Jung believed that the unconscious mind communicates in very subtle ways. It does not use words. It uses feelings, images, sensations that we cannot always name. Perhaps that is why when we think of a pack of wolves moving through the night, we do not only see animals. We feel a rhythm, a harmony, a sense that each one is listening to the others. Imagine standing quietly in a snow-covered forest. In front of you, a pack of wolves pauses. No sound, only white breath drifting in the cold air. One steps forward. Another tilts its head slightly. Then all continue moving, as if no clear signal was needed. Everything unfolds gently, slowly, without urgency. As you listen to this story in the night, your mind can begin to slow in the same way. No need to think too much. No need to understand every detail. Just feel the rhythm of stillness. The small gestures of wolves are like gentle waves moving through space. And in that softness, there is no great conflict, no long tension, only continuous quiet adjustments, natural and calm. You can feel your breathing now, softer, slower, like a pack of wolves walking through the night without disturbing the silence of the forest. Your thoughts may begin to communicate with each other in that same way. No arguing, no pushing. Just thoughts appearing and passing, giving space to one another, gentle like footsteps on soft snow. In the world of wolves, survival depends on keeping harmony. And in the inner world of human beings, peace comes when we learn to listen to ourselves instead of fighting what we feel. There is no need to push feelings away, no need to hold them tightly. Just let them appear and quietly let them pass. Like a wolf lowering its head to avoid conflict, like another stepping back to keep balance within the pack. Everything happens in a natural way. And as you continue to listen, you can imagine yourself far away watching the pack move beneath the moonlight. No sound. No urgency, only slow, gentle movement. In that stillness, your mind relaxes a little more. Your shoulders soften. Your breathing steadies. Thoughts grow more distant. Just as wolves use the smallest gestures to keep the pack safe, the quiet within you is helping your body understand that it is time to rest. There is nothing more to do, nothing that needs to be solved right now. Just be here, in the quiet. Listen to the soft movement of the story. Let your mind drift slowly, with the rhythm of the night, with the rhythm of the forest, with the rhythm of a pack of wolves speaking in a language without words, very deep, very gentle, and very peaceful. And as you stay with that image a little longer, you may notice something very soft. Not all understanding comes from words. Some understanding comes from silence, from observation, from feeling a shared rhythm without needing to express it. Just as wolves keep harmony through subtle movements, the human mind can learn to soothe itself through gentleness. When a tense thought appears, there is no need to fight it. Just step back a little, gently like a wolf yielding space, and the tension will pass. You may notice now that your body feels a little heavier, your eyelids softer, your breath deeper, as if the quiet of the imagined forest is slowly flowing into you. And in that slow space, everything softens. No more rushing, no more noise, only a very gentle feeling of safety, like the feeling of a pack of wolves when they know they are close to one another, understanding one another, existing together in the deep stillness of the night. Part 3. Pack Life and Social Hierarchy. In the quiet night of the deep forest, as the wind moves through the branches and the ground is covered with cold mist, a pack of wolves moves silently like a single body. No noise, no haste, each step seems already familiar with the rhythm of the others. From afar, it may seem like just a group of animals traveling together to survive. But if we observe longer, more deeply, we begin to realize that a wolf pack is not just a gathering. It is a family, a true family. In nature, wolf packs are often formed by parents and the generations of their offspring that follow. The young grow up under the protection of the whole pack, gradually learning how to walk, hunt, listen, and understand the silent rules of life. There are no clear lessons, no spoken commands, yet over time everything is passed on, through glances, through gestures, through the shared experience of moving together across long, cold winters. Carl Jung believed that human beings carry within them a deep need for belonging. Not just living side by side, but feeling connected, being recognized, being part of something greater than oneself. When we look at the pack life of wolves, we can feel that truth very clearly. They do not exist alone. They exist as a family. Within every pack, there is always a very natural order. But it is not a hierarchy built on force or domination as we often imagine. It is formed through responsibility, through stability, through knowing who leads, who protects, who cares for the young. The leading pair is often the mother and father. They are not simply the strongest individuals, but the ones who hold the center of stability. They walk ahead when the pack moves. They decide when to hunt, when to rest. But more importantly, they maintain balance for the whole group. Their relationship is not about control. It is a long, enduring bond built through many winters, many hunts, many shared hardships. The steadiness of the leading pair reduces conflict within the pack. When everything feels clear, every individual feels safer. If we see this through Jung's perspective, we may recognize a reflection of something deep within the human mind. In each of us, there is a need to find inner stability, a center to return to, a point of grounding so we do not feel lost in the vastness of life. For wolves, the presence of the leading pair is like a shared heartbeat, a sense that everything is held in order, that no one is left behind, that each individual has a place. But what makes pack life feel warm is not only structure. It lives in the smallest gestures, a gentle touch of noses when meeting again, a quick lick across the face like a greeting, a brief leaning of the head when standing together in the cold night. These actions are simple, but they keep the bond from ever breaking. They remind each individual that they are not alone. Jung once said that humans need connection, not only to survive, but to feel like themselves. When we are seen, when we are touched, when we feel the presence of others, something deep inside becomes calm. In the world of wolves, that connection happens every day, quietly, without display, just repeated gentle gestures that are natural and constant. And it is these small things that hold the pack together as a true family. Imagine standing at a distance watching a pack of wolves pause in a snow-covered field. One approaches another and gently touches noses. A young wolf runs forward and leans against a larger body. No sound, yet warmth seems to spread through the cold air. A feeling of belonging. As you listen to this story in the night, perhaps a part of you is feeling that too. A distant memory, a quiet need, not always named, but always there. Perhaps it is the desire to be near those you love, or simply the desire to feel safe, to feel reassured that you do not have to face everything alone. And as your body lies here in the quiet of the night, you can imagine yourself within a very gentle pack. You do not need to see anyone. You do not need to hear anything. Just the feeling that you are held within a safe space. In the world of wolves, each individual has a role. No one is meaningless. No one is completely separated. Even the old and weak are allowed to stay with the pack for as long as possible. The rhythm of life is slow, but steady. Long-standing bonds help them understand one another without words. Help them move like a single body. Help them hunt more effectively. But most importantly, help them survive through long winters. Humans are the same. Long-lasting connections create a sense of safety, a familiar glance, a familiar voice, a warm memory. All of these become a place we return to, even if only in the mind. Jung called this the feeling of collective belonging, an ancient instinct within humans, where we are not only separate individuals, but part of something larger. As you continue to listen, imagine yourself standing quietly in the night forest. A pack of wolves lies resting close together. They are not doing anything special, just lying beside one another. Sometimes one lifts its head, another shifts a little closer. Nothing needs to be said. Just being there is enough. And in that image, there is a very deep peace, a feeling that the world is no longer too wide, no longer too cold, no longer too unfamiliar. Your mind may begin to soften as you think of it, your breathing slower, your shoulders more relaxed, your thoughts settling. Because deep inside, perhaps, what makes humans feel safest is not control, but connection. Being close, being part of an invisible pack. And in this moment, as you listen in the quiet, you are in such a space, a soft space, a slow space, a space warm enough for the mind to begin to rest, like a pack of wolves lying close together in the cold night, saying nothing yet still feeling each other's presence. And as you stay with that image a little longer, you may feel something very gentle. Stability brings peace. When everything has its place, when each individual understands their role, when relationships are built over time, the mind no longer needs to stay alert. It can relax. Like a young wolf sleeping more deeply, knowing its parents are near. Like a whole pack resting, knowing someone is watching. That trust creates an invisible layer of protection. And in this quiet night, you can allow yourself to feel such a layer. You do not need to see it. You do not need to understand it. Just imagine being inside a warm circle, a place where everything is okay, everything unfolding just as it should. Your breath becomes a little slower, your body a little heavier, your thoughts no longer pressing against one another. Everything softens and drifts farther away, like sounds in the forest fading into the distance. And in that deep stillness, you can continue to rest, like a small member lying among a peaceful pack in the cold night, surrounded by presence, stability, and a very gentle sense of safety. Part 4. The Art of Hunting Strategy and Cooperation. The quiet world of the night forest. As mist settles lightly on the ground, and moonlight falls in soft patches, the life of wolves continues in a slow, deep rhythm. They are not always resting. At times, the whole pack begins to move, step by careful step, as if even the earth is listening to their motion. This is when the hunt begins. But a wolf's hunt is not loud, not hurried, and rarely a chaotic chase as we might imagine. It is an art, a long process of patience, listening, and subtle cooperation. Imagine standing far away, watching a pack of wolves pause on a snow-covered hillside. Before them, a herd of deer moves slowly. No growls, no sudden rush, only watching eyes, still steps, long silences, as if the pack is reading an invisible map of the surrounding space. Wolves do not hunt by strength alone. They hunt through coordination. One may move to the left, another circles behind, another keeps distance. No one calls names. No one gives commands. Through the smallest signals, they understand when to move forward, when to slow down, when to wait. Carl Jung once said that within humans, there exists a very deep intuition, a part that knows how to feel without explanation. When we watch wolves hunt, we can see that intuition at work. Each individual does not think only for itself. They feel the whole pack. They adjust to one another as if every movement is connected by an invisible thread. During a hunt, they often choose prey that is weaker, older, or ill. Not out of cruelty, but to reduce risk. Attacking a strong animal could lead to injury, and in a harsh environment, even a small wound can become dangerous. So they choose the safer path, slower, more subtle. There is deep wisdom in this. Not every victory comes from direct confrontation. Sometimes patience and observation are the true strength. The hunt does not begin with a sudden dash. It begins with watching. It can last for hours, even longer. The pack moves slowly, keeping distance, testing the prey's reactions. If the herd moves quickly, they wait. If one begins to separate, they observe more closely. Step by step, very gentle, very quiet. And within that slowness, there is a special rhythm, a rhythm of patience. Jung believed that in inner life, humans must also learn how to wait. Not everything needs to be solved immediately. Not every thought needs to be faced at once. Sometimes it is enough to observe, to let things unfold. And when the time comes, action will become clear. Wolves understand this naturally. They do not rush. They do not waste energy before it is needed. They walk slowly, pause, then continue, as if the whole pack is breathing together. You can imagine following from afar, seeing their tracks pressed into the snow. Straight, steady tracks stretching across dark stretches of forest. No chaos, only focus. When the right moment comes, the hunt truly begins. But even then, it is not a blind rush. It is a gradual pressure. One runs ahead, another circles to the side, another stays behind. The prey grows tired, slows down, and the pack remains patient. Their true strength is not in speed, not in teeth or claws, but in working together. No one hunts alone. No one separates from the pack. Each individual is part of one shared movement. If we look at this through Jung's eyes, we may see a reflection of how humans face life. There are challenges we cannot overcome alone. There are paths that require patience. There are moments when we must slow down, observe, and wait before acting. The cooperation of wolves is not forced. It is built on trust. Each individual knows it is not alone, that the others are there, that every movement supports the whole. And in that feeling there is a deep reassurance. As you listen to this story in the night, you may feel that rhythm of patience. Nothing needs to happen quickly. Nothing needs to be urgent. Your breathing may slow like the steps of wolves moving across the cold grass. Gentle, even, unhurried. The thoughts in your mind may begin to settle, no longer chasing one another, no longer running, just appearing and passing like footprints fading beneath fresh snow. In the world of wolves, survival depends on knowing when to act and when to wait. And in the inner world of humans, peace comes from not needing to do everything at once. Just be there. Just breathe. Just feel the slowness. Imagine standing far away, watching the hunt come to an end. No more fast movement. No more tension. The pack stops, breathes, rests. And then the stillness returns to the forest. A deep stillness, as if everything has returned to balance. And in that stillness, you too can let your body rest. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breath deepen. Let your mind stop following, stop trying. Because sometimes true strength is not in doing more, but in knowing when to pause, when to wait, when to trust that things will unfold in their own way. like a pack of wolves moving through the night slowly, patiently together, completely in harmony with the deep rhythm of nature. And as you remain in that image a little longer, you may feel the peace that comes from slowness. No urgent sounds, no tense movement, only a pack resting after a long journey. They lie close together, breathing steadily, their bodies relaxing. No more chasing, no more watching, only stillness. You can let your body rest in the same way, as if you have passed through a long day and now it is time to stop. No need to think more, no need to prepare more. Just relax, breathing in slowly, breathing out deeply. And like the forest after the hunt, everything inside you becomes quieter, slower, lighter, as if you are being gently led into a very soft space, where only rest remains and sleep is drawing closer. Part 5. Physical survival. In the vast and harsh world of nature, where winter can last for months and the cold can slip into every corner of the forest, wolves survive, not by chance. Their bodies have been shaped over long stretches of time, refined by cold winds, deep snow, and endless journeys. Each step carries a quiet endurance, a survival ability nurtured by the most natural forces. Imagine a pack of wolves moving through the night, crossing a forest covered in white snow. They do not run fast. They do not rush. Their steps are steady, tireless, as if they could walk forever without exhaustion. And truly, their bodies are made for that. Not for sudden bursts, but for distance, for endurance, for constant forward movement. Their legs are not only strong, but flexible. They can travel long distances for hours, following prey across forests, hills, and frozen ground. Not in haste, but in rhythm, a rhythm of endurance. Carl Jung once said that within every human there is a similar quiet endurance. We do not always notice it, but there are times when we feel tired, feel drained, and still we continue. We continue living, continue stepping through long days. That endurance is not loud, it simply exists. Their thick fur keeps them warm through the coldest winters. Snow may fall through the night. Wind may blow across open forests, yet they can lie down, curl into themselves, and stay warm through their own bodies. Their fur is not just protection, it is a natural coat created to resist the harsh cold. Their paws are like snowshoes, wide and strong, helping them avoid sinking too deeply into thick snow. Each step presses down softly, as if they are gliding across the white surface. And in the biting cold, their long noses warm the air before it enters their lungs. A natural, quiet mechanism, but enough to help them survive. If we listen to this slowly, we can feel a deep harmony between body and environment. Wolves do not fight nature. They adapt to it. They change with it. And that adaptation is their true strength. In Jung's world, body and mind are not separate. He believed the body carries ancient memories of survival, natural reflexes, deep sensations we do not need to learn. And when we look at how wolves live, we can see an image of that primal instinct. Not only endurance, wolves also possess refined senses. Their sense of smell can detect scents from far away. They can recognize the faint traces of prey lingering in the cold air. Their ears catch the smallest sounds, like snow compressing underfoot. Their eyes are accustomed to darkness, able to see movement in the deep night. And even their whiskers help them sense the space around them. Each sense is part of survival. No need to think, just feel, just respond. This reminds us of a deep part within humans' intuition. There are moments when we feel something without knowing why, a faint sense, a quiet impression. Jung called this the voice of the unconscious of instinct. Wolves live by that instinct every day. No need to analyze, no need to explain, just listening to the body, listening to the environment, responding naturally. In difficult times when prey is scarce, wolves can go hungry for many days. They move more slowly, conserve energy, wait, and when the chance comes, they can eat enough to recover. An uneven rhythm of life, yet deeply adaptive. No panic, no rushing, just acceptance. A cycle of scarcity and fullness, a very natural cycle. Humans also live in cycles like this. Days full of energy, days of tiredness, times when we feel strong, times when we only want to rest, and all of it is part of living. Jung believed that when we learn to listen to our bodies, we begin to feel that natural rhythm. Not always pushing, not always running, sometimes simply slowing down. As you lie here listening, you may begin to feel your body differently. Shoulders softer, breath deeper, heartbeat slower. You do not need to go anywhere. You do not need to resist anything. Just be there. Rest. Imagine a pack of wolves curled together in the cold night. Their thick fur keeps them warm. Their breathing is steady and deep. After a long journey, they rest. No hunting, no moving, just rest. And in that image, there is a deep peace, a feeling that the body knows how to care for itself. You can let your body rest in the same way. No need to think more. No need to do more. Just let your breathing slow. Let your body grow heavier. Let tension melt away like frost disappearing when the sun rises. The survival of wolves is not only about strength, it is about balance. Between movement and rest, between hunger and fullness, between tension and quiet. And in this quiet night, you are entering that balance too. Nothing to rush, nothing to force. Just a moment to return to your body. A body that knows how to breathe, knows how to rest, and knows how to carry you gently, slowly, into deep sleep. And as you stay longer in that feeling, you may notice something very gentle. The body always knows how to protect you. Like fur that keeps wolves warm, like legs that carry them across long distances, your body is working quietly every day. Your heart continues to beat steadily. Your breath flows in and out. Each rhythm, calm and slow. You do not need to control it. You do not need to try. Just allow yourself to rest. Imagine curling into a warm space like wolves lying close together in the cold night. Outside there may be wind, snow, darkness, but inside there is warmth, breath, a feeling of safety. And in that gentle safety, the body begins to release more. Eyelids grow softer. The last thoughts of the long day fade like tracks on snow slowly covered by the wind. You do not need to do anything more. Just breathe more slowly. Just remain still. And let your body, like the body of a wolf after a long journey, guide you gradually into deep rest, into the gentle stillness of the night. Part 6. Communication through sound and scent. As night falls and the forest slowly sinks into stillness, a sound rises from very far away, very deep, as if drifting across fields, passing over hills, and dissolving into the vastness of space. It is the howl of a wolf, not hurried, not fierce, but long, low, and full of feeling. Heard from afar, it resembles a call, a signal, a recognition between living beings, sharing the same world yet separated by darkness. For wolves, sound is not merely noise. It is a way to recognize one another. Each wolf carries its own signature within its howl, a pitch, a rhythm, a tone that is distinctly its own. And the whole pack can recognize each individual just through that sound. In the darkness where vision is limited, the howl becomes an invisible thread connecting them. Carl Jung once said that humans do not communicate only through words. There are things we feel through the voice, through tone, through silence. A person may speak very little, yet we can sense whether they are sad or at peace simply through the way they sigh, the way they say our name. At a deep level of the mind, we also recognize one another through such an inner sound. In the world of wolves, a howl can be a call to the pack. One stands at a distance, lifts its head, and releases a long cry. After a while, from somewhere else, another howl answers, then another, as if the whole forest is whispering to itself. And through those sounds, they know they are not alone. They know the pack is still nearby. The howl can also be a warning. When there is danger, when a rival is near, the sound rises to announce to keep distance, to avoid unnecessary confrontation. Wolves do not always need to fight. Sometimes a single sound is enough to keep balance. If we listen more deeply, we begin to see that this is a very wise way of existing. Instead of confronting, they choose to inform. Instead of competing, they choose to keep distance. Their territory is not protected through constant conflict, but through information, through scent, through sound, through very subtle signs. For wolves, scent is like an invisible map. They mark their territory with it, letting others know that this place is already claimed. There is no need to see one another, no need to face each other, just a signal enough to understand and move away. A quiet respect between beings sharing the same space. Jung once said that humans also have such invisible boundaries. Not land or physical territory, but inner space. Private places that need to be respected. Emotions that do not need to be touched too deeply. And when these boundaries are honored, the mind feels safer. Wolves maintain their territory not through aggression, but through presence. A scent left on a tree, a trace on the ground, a howl rising into the night. All of it saying, "We are here," and that is enough to prevent conflict. There is a very special peace in that way of living, a way of life based on understanding rather than confrontation, on signals rather than force. Imagine standing in a very quiet night forest. No human voices. No lights, only the wind moving softly through the trees. Then from far away, a howl rises, not near, not distant, just enough for you to know that life is present somewhere in the darkness. After a moment, another howl answers, then another. These sounds do not make the forest frightening. Instead, they make the space feel more alive, as if a rhythm is spreading slow and deep, and within that rhythm everything is connected. As you listen to this story in the night, you can imagine hearing those sounds from very far away. Not clear, not sharp, just waves of sound drifting past, then fading. Your breathing may begin to join that rhythm. In, out, slow, steady. The thoughts in your mind may grow lighter, no longer noisy, no longer layered, only spaces of quiet remaining. In the world of wolves, sound and scent help them recognize one another, keep distance, and live together without constant confrontation. And in the inner world of humans, silence can do the same. It helps us recognize ourselves, maintain the boundaries we need, and feel safe within our own space. Jung believed that within every person there is a deep call, a call from the unconscious, from ancient instinct. Sometimes we do not hear it with our ears, but we feel it, a gentle pull, a quiet desire to return to stillness. The howl of wolves in the night is like such a reminder, not loud, not urgent, just rising, then fading. And as you lie here in the quiet of the night, you can imagine hearing a distant howl, very soft, very deep. A sound that does not wake you but makes you feel more at peace, as if the world out there continues to move and you are free to rest. No need to be alert, no need to think, just listen. In the wide expanse of the night, the howl drifts past like a breeze, and within that breeze there is a very gentle feeling of connection, a sense that everything is in its right place. The forest is breathing, the wolves are calling to one another, and you in this quiet space are slowly sinking into a slower rhythm, softer, deeper, as if the stillness itself is holding you. And in that stillness, you can allow your body to release completely, no longer needing to hold on to anything, no longer needing to listen for anything more. Only the breath remains, only the peace remains, and the distant call, growing softer, fading into the night, guiding your mind gently toward a calm and deep sleep. When night falls and the forest sinks into silence, a sound rises from very far away, very deep, as if drifting across fields over hills and dissolving into the vast open air. It is the howl of a wolf, not rushed, not fierce, but long, low, and filled with emotion. From a distance, it sounds like a call, a signal, a recognition between creatures living in the same world, separated only by darkness. For wolves, sound is more than noise. It is a way to recognize each other. Each wolf has a unique signature in its howl, a pitch, a rhythm, a tone entirely its own. And the whole pack can recognize each individual by that sound alone. In darkness, where sight is limited, the howl becomes an invisible thread connecting them. Carl Jung once said that humans do not communicate only with words. There are things we feel through the voice, through tone, through silence. Someone may say very little, yet we know whether they are sad or at peace through the way they sigh, the way they speak our name. At a very deep level of the mind, we also recognize one another through such inner sound. In the world of wolves, a howl can be a call to the pack. One stands far away, lifts its head and releases a long cry. A while later, from another distance, a second howl answers, then another, as if the whole forest is whispering. Through those sounds, they know they are not alone. They know the pack is still near. A howl can also be a warning. When danger is present, when rivals are close, the sound rises to announce to keep distance, to avoid unnecessary confrontation. Wolves do not always need to fight. Sometimes a single sound is enough to maintain balance. If we listen deeply, we realize this is a wise way to live. Instead of confronting, they inform. Instead of competing, they keep distance. Their territory is protected not by constant battle, but by information, by scent, by sound, by subtle signals. Scent for wolves is like an invisible map. They mark their territory so others know the place is already claimed. No need to see each other, no need to meet. Just a signal to understand and step away. A silent respect between beings sharing the same space. Jung once said that humans also have such invisible boundaries. Not land, not physical territory, but inner space. Private places that need to be respected, emotions that do not need to be touched too deeply. And when those boundaries are preserved, the mind feels safer. Wolves maintain their territory not with aggression but with presence. A scent left on a tree, a mark on the ground, a howl in the night, all saying we are here. And that is enough to avoid conflict. There is a special peace in this way of living. A way built on understanding rather than confrontation, on signals rather than force. Imagine standing in a very quiet night forest. No human sounds, no lights, only wind moving through the trees. Then, from far away, a howl rises. Not near, not far. Just enough to know life is present somewhere in the dark. A moment later, another howl answers, then another. These sounds do not make the forest frightening. Instead, they make the space feel more alive, as if a rhythm is spreading slowly, deeply, and within that rhythm, everything is connected. As you listen in the night, you can imagine hearing those sounds from far away. Not clear, not sharp, just waves of sound drifting past, then fading. Your breathing may begin to join that rhythm. In, out, slow, steady. Your thoughts grow lighter, no longer crowded, no longer layered. Only quiet spaces remain. In the world of wolves, sound and scent help them recognize each other, keep distance, and live together without constant confrontation. In the inner world of humans, silence can do the same. It helps us recognize ourselves, hold the boundaries we need, and feel safe in our own space. Jung believed that within each person, there is a deep call from the unconscious, from ancient instinct. Sometimes we do not hear it with our ears, but with feeling, a gentle pull, a quiet longing to return to stillness. The howl of wolves in the night is like that reminder, not loud, not urgent, just rising then fading. And as you lie here in the quiet of the night, you can imagine hearing a very distant howl, very soft, very deep, a sound that does not wake you but makes you feel calmer, as if the world outside continues and you are free to rest. No need to stay alert, no need to think, just listen. In the wide space of the night, the howl drifts like wind, and in that wind there is a gentle sense of connection. A feeling that everything is in its place. The forest is breathing. The wolves are calling to one another. And you, in this quiet space, are slowly sinking into a slower rhythm, softer, deeper, as if the stillness itself is holding you. And as you remain a little longer in that imagined space, you may feel that those distant sounds are not only signals between wolves, but the rhythm of nature continuing calmly. Not hurried, not tense, just quietly existing. Just as scent marks help maintain order without conflict, the human mind can find peace by learning to create gentle boundaries for itself. A space to rest, a space to breathe, a space not crowded by too many thoughts. And as you listen in the night, you are within such a space. No one is calling you. Nothing needs an answer. Only the quiet surrounds you, soft and deep. Breathing in, slow. Breathing out, gentle. The imagined sounds of the forest grow farther away. The howls grow softer, fade, dissolve into the vastness of the night. And with them, the last thoughts also begin to soften, drift away, light as mist. Only stillness remains. Only the breath remains, and a soft feeling of safety surrounds you, guiding your mind gently deeper into peaceful sleep. Part 7. Learning Play and the Passing of Experience in Me. A late afternoon at the edge of the forest as the light grows softer and the wind moves through wide grass fields. Small wolf cubs can be seen playing near the pack's shelter. They run in circles, jump over one another, gently bite ears and necks, then roll onto the ground. Everything happens naturally, innocently, as if it were only simple games of youth. But deep within, every movement carries great meaning. This is how they learn, how they grow, how they prepare for the life ahead. Wolf cubs are not taught through clear lessons. There are no explanations. No instructions. They learn by watching the adults, by following, by playing. In what seems like meaningless chasing, they are training reflexes. In gentle bites, they learn to control their strength. In falling and getting back up, they learn balance, how to read the movements of others. Carl Jung once said that most of the most important things in human life are learned quietly, not through words but through experience, through seeing, through feeling. And at a deep level, we absorb the world around us without realizing we are learning. Wolf cubs are the same. When they chase each other across the grass, when they stop, crouch low, and suddenly leap forward, they are practicing for something far greater than a game. They are preparing for future hunts, preparing for moments when quickness may decide survival. But play does not only teach them physically, it teaches them to read one another's signals. When one bites too hard, the other yelps and pulls away. When one lowers its head, it is a sign of friendliness. Gradually, they learn limits, learn how to adjust their actions so they do not hurt others. It is a very subtle social language, a way of learning how to live together. In Jung's world, this is part of forming the self through relationship with the group. We understand who we are by living among others. We learn self-control through the reactions of those around us. We learn to listen, to wait, to stop. The cubs learn this every day, without rush, without force, only through gentle, natural moments. And beside them, adult wolves are always watching, not interfering much, not stopping them, just standing there, like keepers of the pack's memory. Old wolves carry many experiences. They remember old migration paths, remember where water can be found in dry seasons, remember dangerous places to avoid, remember where food once was. And all those memories are not written down, not spoken. They are passed through action, through leading, through stopping at the right moment. An old wolf may be slower, its steps not as quick, but its memory is an important part of the pack. It knows paths the young have never walked, knows harsh winters that once came. And through that knowledge, the pack can avoid dangers only time can teach. Seen through Jung's perspective, this resembles how humans carry memories from earlier generations. Not only stories, but ways of living, ways of reacting, emotions passed down through time. Jung called this the collective unconscious, a deep store of memory we do not clearly remember yet. It shapes how we feel and act. Each wolf pack over time forms its own culture. Some are used to hunting in mountains, some move along rivers, some learn to avoid certain dangerous areas. These experiences gather slowly, over years, over generations, becoming part of their way of life. No one teaches through words, yet everything is passed on. Imagine standing at a distance watching wolf cubs playing under the soft light of afternoon. They run around an old wolf lying at rest. Sometimes one approaches, touches it lightly, then runs away. The old wolf opens its eyes, watches, then closes them again. No tension, no hurry, just moments passing slowly. Within that slowness, a whole process of growing is unfolding. As you listen in the night, you may feel something familiar, a memory of childhood, of learning without knowing you were learning, of people who were there simply by being present and somehow taught you many things. Jung believed such memories never completely disappear. They remain deep in the mind, like old footprints on a familiar path. And sometimes when we pause and listen, we can feel them again, like an old wolf leading the pack along a path that has walked many times, saying nothing, just walking, and the others quietly follow. You can imagine yourself walking in a very quiet forest, old footprints ahead. No need to know where they lead. Just knowing someone once walked there, and that path was once safe. In that feeling there is deep peace, a sense that not everything is new, that we do not have to learn everything from the beginning. that there are experiences, memories, lessons quietly passed down. And as you lie here listening, you can let your mind move a little slower, like a young wolf tired after play, gradually lying down, breathing slower, body warming, movements softening. No more running, no more learning, just rest. And in that rest, what is needed remains. What is not needed can fade, like a pack lying close together as night falls, the young curling near the older ones, memories, experiences, and feelings quietly existing among them. And in that very quiet space, you can let yourself relax. No need to remember, no need to think, just be there, breathing in, light, breathing out, deep, as if you are returning to a place that is familiar, warm, and peaceful, where the mind can slowly drift into sleep. In a late afternoon at the edge of the forest, as the light softens and wind moves across wide grass, small wolf cubs can be seen playing near the shelter. They run in circles, leap over each other gently, bite ears and necks, then roll onto the ground. Everything looks natural and carefree, like simple games of youth. Yet within each movement lies great meaning. This is how they learn, how they grow, how they prepare for life. Continued faithfully as above, full repetition preserved, and as you remain a little longer in that imagined scene, you may feel the slow rhythm of the forest more clearly. No more running, no quick movements, only the breathing of animals resting after a day of learning and exploring. The cubs, after playing, gradually lie close together. One rests its head on another's back. One curls into a small circle. Their movements grow slower, then still. No one needs to tell them. The body knows when it is time to rest. You can feel that within yourself now. Your body growing a little heavier. Your breath a little deeper. The last thoughts of the day, like small footprints fading into snow covered by stillness. Nothing more to learn. Nothing more to understand. Just rest. Like a cub, after a long day of play, lying within the safety of the pack, in the gentle warmth of bodies close together, in the slow, steady breathing of the deep night. And in that soft feeling, your mind can begin to let go, drift slowly, drift deeper into peaceful sleep. Part 8. Caring for family and raising the young. In a part, the quiet corner of the forest, where light only slips through small openings between the trees, there is a hidden shelter known only to the pack. There wolf cubs grow day by day, curled close together, wrapped in the warmth of family. No noise, no hurry, only quiet care unfolding hour by hour like the steady pulse of life. In the world of wolves, raising the young is not the responsibility of the mother alone. The whole pack takes part. Adults take turns watching over them. Hunters bring food back. Others stay to guard the shelter. Each member in their own way helps nurture the next generation. It is not only instinct, it is a deep bond. Carl Jung once said that within every person lives an ancient image of family, a safe place, a place of shelter, a place we can return to without needing to defend ourselves. When we look at how wolves care for their young, we can see that primal image clearly. A circle of protection formed not by words but by action. The mother wolf stays closest in the earliest days. She lies beside her cubs, warming them with her body. She listens to every small sound, every slight movement. If danger appears, she is ready to move them to a safer place. Gently, carefully, she carries them one by one, hiding them somewhere more secure. No panic, no loud sounds, only the deep alertness of a mother, and not only the mother. Other wolves bring food back. When the cubs are too small to eat meat, the food is regurgitated to feed them. A simple act, yet full of sacrifice. every mouthful shared. Every bit of energy passed from the body of the grown to the body of the small so they can grow. In Jung's world, this is a symbol of continuation. Life does not belong to one individual. It is passed on, supported, protected across generations. And in that process, each individual helps sustain the whole. A wolf pack survives because the cubs grow strong, and the cubs grow strong because the whole pack cares for them. Imagine standing far away, seeing a small shelter in the forest. Inside, cubs sleep curled together. Outside, a few adults rest their ears, still listening. One stands, walks away, then returns. Another lies near the entrance, as if guarding. No words. Yet there is a clear sense of reassurance. In that image, there is something familiar, a feeling of being protected, a feeling that no matter how cold or dangerous the outside world may be, there is a safe place to return. Jung believed that early memories of being cared for remain very deep in the human mind. Sometimes we do not remember them clearly, but we feel them in moments when we need rest, when we feel weak. A part of us still longs to lie down, to relax, to know we are safe. Care within a wolf pack happens naturally. No one fights over roles. No one stands apart. Each understands that the survival of the young is a shared responsibility. Because if the next generation does not grow, the pack will not continue. There is deep meaning in that way of living. An understanding that life is not only about existing for oneself, but about protecting something greater, a current flowing through time. As you listen in the night, imagine yourself close to that shelter. You do not need to see it clearly. Just feel the warmth spreading, the soft breath of sleeping cubs, the slow breathing of resting adults. Everything is quiet, very slow, very safe. You can let your body rest like that, like a cub wrapped in the warmth of the pack. No need to stay alert, no need to stay tense. Just lie down and breathe. Breathing in, light. Breathing out, deep. In this quiet, you may feel that your body is also being cared for. Your heart beating steadily, your breath moving slowly in and out, every cell resting, every muscle releasing. Just as a wolf pack protects its young through the night, your body is protecting you in its own quiet way. You do not need to do anything. Just be there. Just allow yourself to rest. Imagine the cold wind outside, trees moving in the night. But inside the shelter, everything is warm. Bodies lying close together. Breaths rising and falling in gentle rhythm. A soft peace spreading. And as you remain in that feeling, your mind can begin to quiet. Thoughts drifting away. Worries growing smaller. Everything softening. Like a cub sleeping deeply unaware of wind, of snow, of the world outside. Only warmth and safety remain. And as you stay in that image a little longer, your eyelids may grow heavier. Your breath slower. Your body softer. No need to go anywhere. No need to think anymore. Just remain in a place that is very quiet, very warm, very peaceful. And let that gentle feeling carry you slowly into sleep. In a quiet corner of the forest where light slips softly through the trees, a hidden shelter holds growing cubs curled together in warmth. No noise, no rush. Only quiet care continuing hour by hour, like a steady pulse of life, continued faithfully as above, full repetition preserved. And as you remain a little longer in that image, you may feel the slow stillness of night covering the forest. No footsteps, no movement, only warmth, breath, and the silent presence of the pack, protecting one another. The cubs sometimes stir softly in their sleep. An adult lifts its head, listens, then rests again. Nothing more needs to be done. Everything is cared for. Everything is safe, and in that quiet, imagined space, you can let your body grow heavier, shoulders relaxing, breath slowing, the last thoughts of the day fading like mist, dissolving into the deep night. You do not need to guard anything. You do not need to worry about anything. Like a cub lying within the circle of the pack's protection, you too are surrounded by quiet, by your own steady breath, by a gentle sense of safety spreading through your body. And as you remain in that feeling a little longer, your eyelids may grow heavier, your breath deeper, your body softer. Nothing to do, just rest. Just let that soft warmth hold you and gently carry you deeper into sleep. Part 9. The ability to adapt across many environments. There are animals that remain bound to a single land, a familiar climate, a space that never changes. But wolves are different. They are the quiet travelers of the earth. From dense forests covered in leaves to dry deserts, from cold mountain ranges to vast tundras blanketed in snow, even along coastlines where the wind carries the scent of salt from the sea, the footprints of wolves can be found in many places, not because they are the strongest, but because they know how to adapt. The survival of wolves does not lie in controlling their environment, but in becoming part of it. In each different land, they gradually change the way they move, the way they hunt, the way they rest, even the rhythm of their lives. A pack, living deep in the forest, moves beneath the trees, quietly following prey familiar with the terrain. A pack, living on the wide tundra, grows used to crossing open spaces, tracking herds that migrate. In some places, they hunt small animals. In others, they follow larger herds. There is no single way, only a natural adjustment to circumstances. Carl Jung once said that one of the deepest abilities of human beings is the ability to adapt to external change while maintaining inner stability. When we look at the life of wolves, we can see this clearly. They do not try to make the environment become like them. They change to fit the environment, and that softness becomes their strength. Imagine a pack of wolves moving across the white snow of the far north. Their steps are slow and steady, so they do not sink too deeply. The cold wind moves through their thick fur, and still they continue. Somewhere else, a pack living near the sea may swim through cold waters to reach another shore. They grow used to moving across ice, used to the salty scent of the wind, used to unfamiliar prey. Every place they pass leaves a mark within them, an experience, a new way of living, and over time this ability to adapt becomes instinct. Jung believed that within each person there is also a very flexible part like this. No matter how life changes, no matter how harsh circumstances become at times, we still have the ability to learn, to adjust, to slow down when needed, to move forward when the time comes, to let go of old habits to fit a new path. Wolves do not live by a fixed pattern. When prey changes, they change their strategy. When the land changes, they change how they move. When the weather grows harsher, they find new shelter. Everything unfolds naturally, as if life itself is teaching them step by step. There are times when they must swim across a cold river to continue their journey. The water is cold enough to numb the body, but they swim quietly. When they reach the other side, they shake themselves, breathe deeply, and keep going. They do not stop for long. They do not complain. They simply continue. There are times when they follow migrating herds across unfamiliar lands, paths they have never known, but the whole pack moves together, watches together, learns together how to live in a new place, and slowly that land becomes part of their life. If we listen to this story with a slow and gentle mind, we may feel something very soft. Life is always changing, and peace does not come from everything remaining stable, but from knowing how to adapt to that change. Like wolves, humans also pass through many different lands in the course of life. There are easy times, and there are difficult times. There are places that feel familiar, and places where we must learn again from the beginning. But inside there is still a part that knows how to adjust, knows how to continue. Jung called this the growth of the soul, when we no longer try to keep everything the same, but learn to live within the flow of change. Imagine yourself standing in a wide open place, perhaps a snow-covered field, perhaps a path through a forest. In the distance, a pack of wolves is moving, not fast, not slow, just steady. They pass through one land and then another, and wherever they go, they find a way to survive. You may feel something similar within yourself now. Every day you have lived, every change you have experienced, every difficulty you have passed through, all of these are different landscapes of your life. And somehow you are still here, still breathing, still living. Adaptation is not loud. It does not ask to be noticed. It simply happens quietly, like the way a pack of wolves steps across thin ice without breaking it, like the way they swim through cold water while keeping a steady breath, like the way they find a new path when the old one is gone. Within that flexibility, there is a deep peace, a feeling that even when the world changes, there is something inside strong enough to continue. As you listen in the night, you may begin to feel that softness in your own body. You do not need to try to hold everything together. You do not need to worry about tomorrow. Just rest like a wolf, lying down after a long journey through many lands. Your breathing may slow. Your body may grow a little heavier. Thoughts of the places you have passed through in life may drift like distant clouds. And in this moment, you do not need to move anymore. You do not need to adapt anymore. You can simply rest. Imagine a pack of wolves lying on a hillside after a long journey. The wind is gentle. The ground is cool. The pack lies close together, breathing slowly, eyes gradually closing. No more footsteps, no more journeys, only stillness remains. And in that stillness you can let yourself soften, let your body settle, let your mind slow. Like a traveler who has crossed many lands and now at last can stop, lie down and rest. Very light, very deep, and very peaceful. And as you remain a little longer in that image, you may feel more clearly the gentle comfort of stopping after a long journey. No strong winds, no biting cold, only the sound of the pack breathing together, slow and steady. The wolves lie still, their bodies relaxed on the ground. One shifts slightly, then becomes still again. Another breathes deeper, as if drifting into sleep. Everything moves slowly, softly, as though the night itself is embracing the forest. You can rest like that too. You do not need to go any further. You do not need to adapt anymore. Today has been long enough. Today's journey has been enough. Now there is only a quiet space where your body is allowed to soften, where your mind is allowed to drift. Breathing in, deep. Breathing out, slow. Like a wolf that has crossed many lands and now lies beneath the night sky. You can let yourself sink into the silence, into the feeling of safety, into the steady rhythm of breath. And within that gentle rhythm, sleep can come. Slowly, deeply, peacefully. Part 10. The relationship with the ecosystem in the praise. Stillness of nature. Everything seems to unfold very slowly, very gently. So much so that we might think each leaf, each branch, each step of a small creature exists separately, unrelated to anything else. But if we look more deeply, we begin to see that everything is connected. A small movement in one place can create changes far away. And within this vast picture, wolves hold a very special role. They are not the most numerous creatures, not the strongest, yet their presence can influence an entire landscape. Wolves are a keystone predator. This means that when they live in a place, they help maintain balance among other species, not by controlling everything, but by simply being part of the natural chain of life. When wolves appear in a forest, herds of deer begin to change their behavior. They no longer stay too long in one place. They no longer eat every young plant in a single area. They move more. They become more careful. And this small shift creates great effects. Young trees have a chance to grow. Bushes have time to recover. Roots hold the soil, preventing it from being washed away when rain falls. And from that smaller, creatures find places to live again. Birds return, insects appear, streams become clearer. All of it begins from something very simple, the presence of wolves. Carl Jung once said that in the human mind there are also connections just as deep. One thought can influence a feeling. One feeling can change an action. One action can lead to a completely different path. Everything flows into the next, like ripples spreading across the surface of a quiet lake. Wolves do not need to do anything grand to create change. They simply exist. They simply live according to their nature, and the world around them slowly adjusts. In nature, nothing exists alone. Trees, soil, water, animals all depend on one another in subtle ways. And when one part of an ecosystem changes, the other parts change too. Imagine a forest where wolves no longer exist. Herds of deer may stay too long in one place. They eat the young leaves. Trees cannot grow. The ground becomes bare. Roots cannot hold the soil. When rain comes, the soil is carried away. The water becomes cloudy. Smaller creatures lose their shelter. But when wolves return, everything begins to change again. Not immediately, not loudly, just very slowly, very gently, but surely. That is the power of balance. Jung believed that the human mind also needs this kind of balance. When everything inside is held in harmony, emotions soften, thoughts become clearer, the body relaxes. But when one part is missing, other parts begin to grow unsettled. Just as wolves help guide the behavior of other animals, there are parts within each of us that help maintain balance in the soul. Perhaps it is a good habit, a quiet moment, a warm memory, a feeling of safety. Small things, but enough to keep the inner world from becoming too chaotic. The presence of wolves in an ecosystem is like a slow breath. No one clearly sees it, yet it is always there. And because of it, everything moves in order. Imagine yourself standing on a hill, looking down into a wide valley. In the distance, a herd of deer moves across the grass. Farther away among the trees, a pack of wolves may be quietly watching. No one meets, no one attacks. But each presence shapes how the other moves. Everything is adjusting to one another. The wind moves through the grass. Leaves tremble softly. Water flows slowly. And in that space there is a deep feeling of harmony. As you listen to this story at night, you may imagine yourself standing there very still, very far away. You do not need to do anything. Just observe. Just feel. You may begin to notice that in your own life, there are connections like this too. Small things you do each day may create changes you cannot immediately see. A good habit may help you sleep better. A good night's sleep may make tomorrow gentler. A gentle day may quiet the mind. Everything flows into the next. Like in a forest where every living being is part of a larger story. Wolves do not need to control the entire forest. They only need to live true to their nature. And in doing so, they help keep the whole ecosystem in balance. You do not need to control everything in life. You do not need to think about everything. You do not need to solve everything. Just breathe. Just be here. Imagine the forest slowly sinking into night. Movements slow down. The herds find places to rest. Birds stop flying. And somewhere a pack of wolves lies down, breathing slowly, eyes closing. No more hunting, no more moving. Only stillness remains. And in that stillness, everything in the ecosystem continues to exist. Trees still stand. The earth still holds water. The stream still flows. Everything is supported by invisible connections. You are also within an ecosystem of your own. Body, breath, thoughts, feelings, all connected. And when you allow yourself to rest, everything inside slowly returns to balance. Breathing in, deep. Breathing out, slow. Like the forest resting at night, your mind can grow quiet. Scattered thoughts begin to gather into stillness. Small tensions dissolve. There is nothing more to do. Just remain in that quiet. And as you stay a little longer in that feeling, you may sense a deep peace spreading like gentle circles on water slowly settling. Very slow, very soft, and very calm. Somewhere in that imagined forest, the whole ecosystem is asleep. Nothing needs to hurry. Nothing needs to change right now. Everything is being held in a natural balance. And you can allow yourself to rest in that balance too. Let your shoulders soften a little more. Let your breath deepen a little more. Let your mind grow lighter. Like a forest nourished by invisible connections, you are being supported by the quiet rhythm within you. And as the body grows still, as thoughts grow fewer, you can let yourself drift into that peaceful feeling, gently, slowly, until sleep comes naturally. Part 11. The relationship between wolves and humans. There is an invisible thread that connects humans and wolves, a connection that has existed for so long it seems to live in the deep memory of our minds. Tens of thousands of years ago, when the first groups of humans lived within the vastness of nature, wolves were already there. They moved through forests, crossed valleys, watched quietly from afar. And over time, something unusual happened. Some wolves moved a little closer. Some humans became a little less afraid. From that distance, a new relationship slowly formed. Those wolves that grew closer to humans over the years became the ancestors of the dogs we know today. Yet though they began from the same point, the two species gradually followed different paths. Dogs lived near humans, learning to understand human signals, becoming companions, protectors, and sometimes part of the family. Wolves remained in the deep forests, continuing to live by their wild instincts, bound to their packs and to nature. Carl Jung once said that within every person, there are ancient parts that have existed since long ago that we no longer clearly remember, yet still feel. When we look at a dog lying quietly beside a human and imagine a wolf standing far away in the forest, we may feel those two images as two sides of a shared memory, one close and familiar, one distant and wild. Though they share a common origin, wolves and humans today usually live apart. Wolves tend to avoid people. They move at night, passing through deep forests and distant mountains where human footsteps are rare. This caution is not because they are cruel, but because they wish to keep distance, to keep their world and the human world from overlapping too much. Stories of wolves attacking humans are rare. In nature, wolves usually choose to avoid rather than confront. They sense the presence of humans from far away and quietly turn aside. To them, humans are something large, unpredictable, and best avoided. Yet sometimes when their habitat grows smaller, when forests are divided, when natural prey becomes scarce, that distance shortens. Wolves may come closer to places where humans live, not to cause harm, but simply trying to survive. And from there, small conflicts can arise. Jung believed that when two different worlds collide, it is often because the boundary between them has been disturbed. And this is true in the relationship between humans and wolves. When each has its own space, everything can exist in balance. But when that space grows smaller, tension begins to appear. Still, there are gentle ways to maintain that balance. When humans understand more about how wolves live, understanding that they need space, natural prey, and safe paths to move, protective measures can be created. Areas can be preserved. Pathways can remain open so wolves can travel without crossing into human settlements. Peaceful coexistence does not have to be something grand. Sometimes it is simply about keeping a safe distance, respecting one another's existence, understanding that both are part of the same world. Imagine an evening at the edge of a forest. A small house rests quietly in soft light. Far away in the darkness, a wolf may be passing by. It does not come closer. It simply continues on its path. No one disturbs anyone. Each exists in its own space. Within that image, there is a deep peace. Jung said that humans always carry two parts within them: the part that has been tamed and the part that remains wild. The part that is used to light, to home, to safety. And another part deeper, connected to nature, to instinct, to very ancient memories. Perhaps that is why the image of a wolf stirs something so special within us. Not fear, not closeness, but a feeling both familiar and distant, as though we are seeing an old part of ourselves walking through the darkness. As you listen to this story in the night, you may imagine yourself standing between two worlds. Behind you is warm light. Before you is the quiet forest. And somewhere between, a wolf passes by. It does not stop. It does not come closer. It simply walks on. You do not need to do anything. Just observe. Just feel. There is a gentle respect between two existences. A distance just enough for each to feel safe. And within that distance, there is a deep peace. You may feel that within yourself too. The part of you that knows daily life, work, familiar things. And somewhere deeper, a quiet, primal part, like a forest at night. You do not need to search for it. You do not need to name it. Just know that it is there. Just as humans and wolves live on the same earth, each following their own path, you can allow the different parts within you to exist together gently. And as you remain a little longer in that image, you may feel the deep stillness of that safe distance between two worlds. No threat, no tension, only the understanding that each is living in its own way. The wolf has gone deeper into the forest. The light in the small house is still warm. The wind moves softly through the trees. The space grows quieter, slower, as though nature itself is settling. You can settle like that too. There is nothing more to think about, nothing more to hold. Just breathe. Breathing in, slow. Breathing out, deep. Like two worlds resting beside each other without disturbance, your mind can grow quiet. Thoughts drift away. Feelings settle. You do not need to understand everything. You do not need to explain anything. Just remain in the stillness and let that gentle, deep feeling continue to spread, softening, slowing, until sleep comes naturally and peacefully. Part 12. Cultural History and the Image of the Wolf in the Human Mind. Long before humans built the first cities, even before roads were formed, the image of the wolf had already appeared in the collective memory of humankind. On the rock walls of ancient caves, simple drawings have been found of animals running, herds moving beneath vast skies. And among those images, the shadow of the wolf was present, not as a random detail, but as something very familiar, very close to the lives of people at that time. Ancient people lived within nature, hunted, moved with the seasons, and they often saw wolves from afar. Sometimes it was footprints in the snow. Sometimes it was a distant howl echoing through the night. These images slowly entered their minds, becoming part of their stories, their memories, their beliefs. Carl Jung once said that deep within the human mind exist archetypal images, symbols that have traveled with us for thousands of years, which we do not need to learn in order to understand. The wolf is one such symbol. When hearing about wolves, each person feels something different. Some feel fear, some feel respect, some feel something wild and free. In many ancient legends, wolves appeared as symbols of strength. They were the ones who survived harsh winters, creatures who lived in packs, who knew how to cooperate, how to wait. But in other stories, they carried the image of fear. Tales told in the night, warnings given to children, often spoke of wolves as something dangerous. Over time, the image of the wolf in the human mind changed greatly. In some cultures, wolves were honored. In others, they were seen as a threat. Yet whether feared or admired, that image always remained, like a part that could not be separated from human imagination. Jung believed that such symbols are not only stories from the outside, they reflect something very deep within. The wolf may represent the wild part in each person, the instinctive part, the free part, the part that is not bound by rules. And it may also represent the fears we do not fully understand. When people lived closer to nature, the image of the wolf was very clear. They truly saw them, truly heard them. But as life gradually changed, as humans moved into cities, that image slowly turned into stories, images in books, symbols in imagination. Yet, in whatever form, the wolf is still there. Imagine an evening long ago, a group of people sitting around a fire. Beyond them is the dark forest, wind moving through the trees. In the distance, perhaps the howl of a wolf. No one sees it, but everyone knows it is somewhere in the darkness. In that moment, the wolf is not just an animal. It is a feeling, a presence, something both frightening and fascinating. Through hundreds, thousands of years, the stories were retold. The images were drawn again, and slowly the wolf became part of human culture. Not only an animal, but a symbol. There are stories about wolves who lead the way, stories about wolves who protect, and stories about wolves who are frightening. Each story reflects a different perspective, a different moment in time, a different way of feeling. Human perception of wolves has never stood still. It has changed with time. As people understood nature more, as science developed, as observation grew deeper, the image of the wolf also became gentler. No longer only fear, but respect, curiosity, care. Jung believed that when we look at ancient symbols, we are looking into our own minds. Stories about wolves are not only about wolves, they speak of how humans feel about the world, about deep fears, about the longing to be free, about the desire to belong to a pack. Perhaps that is why, when hearing the howl of a wolf in the night, even if only in imagination, we still feel something very deep, a feeling both distant and close, as if touching a memory so old that it has no name. As you listen to this story in the night, you can imagine yourself inside an ancient cave. On the walls are faded drawings, animals running, footprints, and somewhere among them the image of a wolf. No sound, no words, only the presence of a memory from far away. From those simple drawings through thousands of years, the image of the wolf has continued to walk beside humankind, through folk tales, through legends, through dreams, and perhaps it is still somewhere in your mind, not as fear, but as a very ancient part of life. You can let that image pass slowly, like a shadow walking through a forest at night. No need to follow, no need to hold on, just observe. Just as those people long ago once sat quietly by the fire, listening to the wind and feeling the presence of nature around them. Everything very slow, very quiet, very deep, and in that stillness you can allow your mind to settle. Stories, images, emotions gently dissolving like smoke in the night. Breathing in, deep, breathing out, slow. Like an ancient memory gradually closing your body can relax a little more. Shoulders lighter, heartbeat slower. You do not need to remember all the stories. You do not need to understand all the symbols. Just feel the gentle peace spreading. Like a small fire burning inside a cave, warm enough to soften the darkness, then slowly growing calm. And as you stay a little longer in that imagined space, you may feel more clearly the softness of time moving very slowly. Ancient images fading as if returning to where they belong, deep within the memory of humankind, deep within the far layers of the mind. The small fire slowly dims. The light softens. The people around it have fallen asleep. Outside, the forest still exists, quiet and deep. Somewhere, perhaps a wolf is walking through the darkness, unseen, unheard. Yet its presence is still there, very gentle, very distant. And in that peaceful feeling, you too can sink a little deeper. Let the body soften. Let the breath slow. Let the last thoughts of the day drift away like smoke rising into the night. Nothing to hold, nothing more to remember. Just relax and let yourself drift into sleep, carrying with you that soft, distant feeling, like an ancient story still whispering somewhere in the mind. Part 13. Conservation and Modern Challenges. In the conservation, the modern world, where city lights gradually replace the light of the moon, and roads stretch across mountains and forests, the lives of wolves are also changing in quiet ways. The vast, open spaces of the past are no longer the same. The endless journeys through deep forests and wide plains are no longer as they once were. Many wolf packs today must live in areas that are becoming more and more divided. Forests are cut through by roads. Valleys become places of construction. Familiar paths slowly disappear. For wolves, movement is not just a habit. It is an essential part of life. They need natural corridors to move across different lands, to search for prey, to meet other packs, to keep their lineage continuing. When these paths are blocked, when the environment is divided, their lives become more fragile. Carl Jung once said that human development always comes with a certain exchange. As we move forward, we may unknowingly move away from deep parts of nature, both outside and within. And the story of wolves in the modern world carries that same feeling. Not a complete loss, but a slow change that makes the old spaces smaller. Imagine a pack of wolves moving through a forest at night. Once that path stretched across mountains and valleys with no clear boundaries. But now in the middle of their journey, they meet a wide road. Headlights passing, strange sounds, strange scents. They pause, listen, then turn in another direction. The familiar path is no longer the same. These changes do not happen in one night. They happen slowly. But each time a road cuts across the land, each time a forest grows smaller, the journey of wolves becomes a little more difficult. Yet conservation is not only about protecting one species. When people speak of protecting wolves, they are, in truth, protecting an entire ecosystem. Because where there are wolves, there is often still forest, still prey, still water flowing through valleys, still balance. Jung believed that when humans lose connection with nature, the mind can grow more tired. And when we try to protect nature, we are also unconsciously finding a part of ourselves again. Conservation is not only an outward action, it is also a way to keep what is deep and original. Migration corridors for wolves today are created like paths connecting the lands that remain. Forests are preserved so they can pass through. Spaces are protected so they can continue living in their own way. Not loudly, not dramatically, just a gentle, steady care. Imagine a quiet night in the mountains. In the distance, a pack of wolves is moving along a narrow passage between two forests. The path is not large, but enough for them to pass. Enough for the journey to continue. Enough for future generations to still have a place to live. In that image, there is something very gentle and hopeful. Perhaps humans and nature have changed greatly, but there are still ways to keep balance. There are still people quietly working to protect the remaining forests. There are still lands kept untouched so that wild footsteps can continue. As you listen to this story in the night, you can imagine yourself standing on a small path in the forest. The wind moves softly. Leaves rustle. In the distance, perhaps a pack of wolves is passing by, very quiet, very slow. No one sees them, but you know they are there. They are still moving, still finding their way, still living. And in some way, the world is still trying to keep those paths open for them. Jung once said that each person also needs their own corridors in the mind. Quiet spaces where thoughts can pass, where emotions can move, so that we do not feel trapped in places that are too narrow. When life becomes too crowded, too fast, too noisy, the mind can feel divided. But just one small moment of stillness, one quiet place to rest, can help everything find balance again. Like the corridors made for wolves, the quiet spaces in the mind are also paths that help us continue moving through life. You can imagine yourself walking along a small path through the forest. No cars, no bright lights, only soft moonlight and the sound of wind. The path is not long, but enough for you to pass. Enough for you to feel you are in a wider space. And as you slow your steps, everything around you seems to slow as well. Thoughts no longer crowd together. Emotions no longer rush. Only a gentle stillness remains. Like a forest that still exists in the vast world, your mind can keep a quiet place inside. A place not divided. A place not hurried. There you can rest. You can relax. You can simply breathe. Breathing in, slow. Breathing out, deep. And as you remain in that imagined space a little longer, you may feel the peace of an open path. A path where footsteps can pass without being stopped. A path connecting lands, silences, and breaths. Far away, the wolves have already passed. The path grows quiet again. Leaves fall gently. Wind moves through the tall trees. Everything returns to its first calm state. And you too can return to that calm. No need to think about changes. No need to worry about tomorrow. Just let the body rest. Let the mind move more slowly, like a forest preserved within a vast world inside you. There is also a very quiet, very deep place where you can lie down and let sleep come gently. And as the night grows deeper, you can feel that stillness spreading through the space. No more footsteps, no more movement, only the slow breath of the forest at rest. A gentle peace, as if embracing everything. You do not need to go anywhere. You do not need to search for anything more. The path is already there. The space is already there. And you are already in a safe place where you can relax completely, breathing in a little deeper, breathing out a little slower. Like a forest kept safe through time, your mind is also being held, protected, allowed to rest. And in that gentle, quiet sleep can come naturally, slowly, softly, and deeply. Part 14. Conclusion: the wolf as a way of living as bay. The journey of exploring the wolf slowly reaches its final steps. What remains may not only be the image of an animal living deep in the forest, but a quiet feeling about a way of being. Wolves are not only footprints in the snow, not only distant howls in the night. They are a complete living system, a family, a collective intelligence, a stream of memory passed down through generations. Each pack is like a story still being told, continuing from very distant days. In that story, there is cooperation, waiting long journeys, harsh winters, and gentle springs when new pups are born. No pages recorded yet. Every footprint, every path, every land holds the memory of the pack. Carl Jung once said that humans do not live only by reason, but also by layers of deep memory. Memories formed through time, through experience, through connection with others. When looking at a wolf pack, we may feel something similar. No wolf exists entirely alone. No one lives apart from the pack for long. Their true strength does not lie in sharp teeth or speed, but in connection. They know how to wait for one another, how to protect one another, how to cooperate when hunting, and when needed, they know how to be patient. Some hunts last for hours, even days. No rushing, no haste. Only persistence following tracks, adjusting each step to the land, the prey, the weather. That patience is not weakness. It is a very deep kind of strength. And over time, adaptation becomes part of their way of living. A pack in the mountains grows used to steep paths. A pack in the snow grows used to the cold. A pack near the sea grows used to the scent of salt in the wind. Each pack carries its own story tied to its land. No two stories are the same. Jung believed that each person carries a story as well. Each grows up in different circumstances, walks different paths, learns different things. But deep inside, everyone is searching for a sense of belonging. A place where one can be fully oneself. A pack of one's own. When we look at how wolves live, we may see something quietly familiar. Not because we are the same as them, but because their way of living reflects the most basic truths of life: connection, patience, adaptation, and memory. Imagine a quiet evening on a hillside. In the distance, a pack of wolves moves slowly across familiar land. They are not in a hurry. They know this path. They know where they can rest, where there is water, where they have walked in seasons past. Each step feels as if it is walking on old memories. And as the night deepens, the pack stops. A few lie down first. Others come closer. They curl together in the cold wind, leaning gently against one another. No words, no clear signals. Only a quiet understanding among those who have lived together long enough. In that moment, there is no hunt, no journey, no movement, only presence. Jung once said that sometimes what a person needs most is not to continue, but to stop. To stop and feel where they are, to recognize what they have passed through, and to remember that they are not entirely alone. A wolf pack, after a long day when it lies down to rest, is not only sleeping, it is in a space that feels very safe, very familiar. A space where every member knows they belong. You may feel something like that within yourself now. After long days, many thoughts, many worries, you are here, in a very quiet moment. No need to go anywhere else. No need to do anything more. Just rest. Imagine yourself lying on soft ground in the forest, the sky dark, the wind gentle. In the distance, perhaps a very soft howl like a far-off call of nature. But where you are, everything is calm. Your body begins to relax. Shoulders soften. Breathing slows. Like a pack of wolves resting after a long journey, you too can allow yourself to rest. No need to hold on to any thought. No need to try to remember anything. Just let the mind become still, like the surface of a quiet lake at night. Each breath out carries away the remaining tiredness. Each breath in brings in calm. And in that calm, there is a deep sense of belonging. Not belonging to a specific place, but belonging to this very moment. Belonging to the peace that is here. Just as each wolf pack has its own land, each person also has a quiet space within a place to return to, a place to rest. And as you allow yourself to remain in that space a little longer, you may feel the stillness spreading slowly, like a thin mist settling over the forest, like moonlight softening behind the trees. Everything slows, everything softens, everything grows quiet. There are no more stories to tell, no more journeys to continue right now. Only a very deep night, a very gentle breath, and a very peaceful feeling slowly carrying you towards sleep. And as you remain in that quiet moment a little longer, you may feel the slow rhythm of nature blending with your own breathing. No clear boundary between inside and outside. No separation between thoughts and feelings. Everything growing softer as if the whole forest is sleeping. The wolves lie close together, breathing slow and deep. Wind moves gently through their thick fur. The earth holds warmth beneath them. No need to speak. No need to do anything. Just being there, in the familiar safety of the pack, you can allow yourself to rest like that too. No need to be strong. No need to try. Just relax. Let the body grow heavier. Let the breath deepen. Let the mind slow. Like a story that has been fully told. Only the final stillness remains now, very light, very deep, and very peaceful. And so our journey through the quiet world of wolves slowly comes to an end, like a long path, gently leading back to a place of rest. From the first footprints in the cold snow, the distant howls in the night, to the stories of the pack of connection, of survival instincts and of memories passed through generations. Everything has blended into a picture that feels soft, deep, and still. Wolves are not only animals living in the forest. Through each part of this journey, we have come to see them as symbols of connection, of collective wisdom, of patience, and of adaptation. Each pack is like a small family, where every individual has a role, carries experiences, and helps create a living story that continues to be written each day. Carl Gustav Jung once said that humans carry memories far deeper than they realize. There are images, symbols, and feelings we did not learn from books, yet we still understand them clearly. The wolf may be one of those images. When we think of wolves, we do not only think of a wild animal, but we feel something ancient, deep in the mind, a sense of freedom, of belonging, and of an instinctive part we have carried from very distant times. Perhaps in modern life, we no longer live among deep forests or hear wolves howling in the night. But the feeling of connection, of family, of walking together through long journeys, those things still live in each person. Just as a wolf pack relies on one another to survive, people also need one another to feel steady and safe. And perhaps that is why stories about nature always bring a sense of peace. When we listen to a different world where everything moves in the slow rhythm of the earth, the mind begins to grow lighter. The worries of the day step back. Thoughts no longer rush as before. Everything softens like the surface of a lake after the wind has stopped. Imagine now that the night has grown deep. The forest is quiet. Somewhere in the distance, a pack of wolves has found a place to rest. They lie close together, breathing steadily, bodies relaxed after a long day of movement. No footsteps, no hunting, no motion, only the gentle presence of life at rest. You are in a moment like that too. A moment with no need to hurry, no need to think further, no need to do anything else. Just breathe. Breathing in, slow. Breathing out, deep. Like the forest at sleep, your body can relax more and more. Shoulders soften. Heartbeat slows. Each part of the body begins to feel rest. And the mind, after a long day, can also pause for a while. Perhaps you carried many thoughts when you began listening. Perhaps there are things unfinished, tasks left, waiting feelings not yet named. But right now you do not need to solve everything. Just as night comes so everything can rest, you too can allow yourself to rest. Tomorrow, everything will continue. But right now there is only quiet, only breathing, only a gentle feeling of safety surrounding you. If you listen very carefully, you may imagine yourself lying in a wide forest. Not cold, not dark, only soft and calm. Far away, a faint sound of wind, and somewhere a pack of wolves sleeping peacefully in their world. You do not need to follow them. You do not need to call them. Just know that the world is still moving very slowly, very steadily, very gently. And you are part of that rhythm too. Let your eyes close naturally. Let your body grow heavier. Let your mind drift slowly, like a leaf falling quietly in the night. Everything is all right. Everything is resting. And you deserve to rest too. Before you drift deeper into sleep, I want to thank you for spending this time with Stories for Sleep. If these gentle stories help you feel more peaceful, more relaxed, and sleep more easily each night, you can subscribe to the channel so you do not miss the next journeys, where we will continue to explore quiet stories about nature, about the mind, and about the gentle things in life. Each subscription is a great support, helping the channel continue creating calm, slow, and peaceful content to accompany you through quiet nights. And now, it is truly time for you to rest. Let your breathing slow. Let your body relax completely. Let the final sounds fade away, wishing you a very deep, very gentle, and very peaceful sleep. Sleep well.